Ah, jest. I'm sure there's time for joy and laughter
Go
somewhere,
away,
but it's
Saltspire.
not...
This isn't about you. This is about him.
You know, Cousin Ockery once spoke of a garden like this. What a grandific sight! This!
Ah. This terrifying naked dwarf of mass destruction is called a Slayer. Balin has made an oath, presumably made in Karak Kadrin, to slay as many dwarven enemies as he can before dying in battle. And now he's an angry, naked dwarf that wants to die. But what is the Slayer good at? The short answer is killing things in melee. I dare even say he's the best character from melee combat. This is mainly because Balin gets a passive attack speed bonus, while also be able to stack damage on a successful hit, and also the ability to equip 2 melee weapons. The big change is that the Slayer Oath prevents him from using any ranged weapons, so anything that attacks from range could prove rather annoying. Luckily the Slayer has a solution to this. The Leap. You can use this to jump into melee combat, knocking most things back, while also receiving an attack speed bonus for a short duration. The Slayer also stacks damage by 10% every time he hits something. This effect can stack up to 30%, but if you don't attack anything for 2 seconds, this buff will fade away. Seems pretty good so far, right? But it gets better. Let's look at the weapons.
Dwarf things. Look how they scurry to us on such little legs, racing to fight.
Some weapons are more effective when used with the Slayer. This does not mean that some weapons are not effective when combined with the Slayer. In truth, all weapons are. But after playing the Slayer an outrageous amount of time, I can safely say these weapons are the best. The Dual Axes. Clearly the Slayer's signature weapon, having excellent armor piercing ability, damage, dodge range and speed. This is one of those weapons a Slayer cannot go without. The only thing where the Dual Axes lack in is a form of horde control. Luckily we are not confined to one melee weapon with the Slayer, so we can build for any situation. Another thing to note about the Dual Axes is its push attack. For 1 stamina you can dash forward, sideways or backwards while attacking. This is critical if you want to keep moving while attacking. You can see it as ammo for your melee weapon, except it regenerates like the Waystalker, only faster. This is also why I recommend you add stamina to your axes as well as your amulet, for maximum ammo. For the perk, it is important you choose Parry. Nothing is more annoying than storm vermin hitting your block while you're in combat and directly losing all your stamina, basically leaving you immobile for a short duration. Damn rat.
See, storm vermin superior!
At the end of the weapon section, I'll go into more detail about the perks. The Pickaxe. The pickaxe can do excellent work in the horde. The heavy attack of the pickaxe works in stages, ramping up damage over the course of a few seconds. These seconds are reduced by the Slayer's passive attack speed ability, while the Leap also grants additional attack speed, and with the addition of the ability Swift Slaying, you could lower the ramp up damage by around half, giving you the highest DPS in the game, not counting the shade cheats.
Nope, I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to rise above it.
One thing to watch out for when using the pickaxe is that you are quite vulnerable while using the heavy attack, so be sure to dodge when necessary when using a heavy attack. Another glorious thing about a pickaxe is that the second stage of the ramp up damage does so much damage it staggers Maulers and Chaos Warriors heavily, allowing you or your team to finish him off without any resistance. Do keep in mind that you're free to switch the pickaxe in for a two-handed hammer or something else that is able to control hordes, but for this build we are going with the pickaxe. Let's take a quick look at what traits to take with the dual axes and pickaxe. For the dual axes we will be going for 2 stamina and 5% attack speed. For the pickaxe we will be going for 10% chaos and either attack speed or crit. The 10% chaos allows us to one-shot chaos warriors on a heavy attack, provided we have the 30% buff from Trophy Hunter and land a headshot. For the perk we will be going for Swift Slaying to bring down the ramp up time for the pickaxe while also providing better horde control. For the charm we will be going for 10% chaos and 10% infantry. The perk is up to you. The 10% chaos allows us to one-shot marauders with the dual axes on a heavy attack. The 10% inventory allows us to one-shot maulers with the pickaxe on a fully charged heavy attack. Be aware that you need 10% chaos on the pickaxe, 10% chaos on a charm and 10% inventory on the charm in order to do this. If you hate storm vermin as much as I do, you can take 10% Skaven for your dual axes and 10% armor for your charm to one-shot storm vermin with a heavy attack, provided you land both axes on the head and have the 30% buff from Trophy Hunter ready to go. Ah, such a nice soundtrack. But we can't linger. We have to go into the skill tree.
By the hammer, I know you, pestiferous vermin, and your plague priest master. You owe me an eye!
For the first tier we have 25% extra health, 20% extra dodge range and 5% crit chance. We will be going with health, as it increases our overall survivability, which the Slayer needs as the class only has 100 base health. The 20% extra dodge range is not needed as we most likely have our dual axes out, which supports excellent dodge already. And the 5% crit chance is nice, but is overshadowed by the health. For tier 2 we have Oblivious to Pain, 50% extra movement speed while everyone is dead, and 20% extra damage for a short duration, if you crit. Let me first say that we are going for Oblivious to Pain, as it's one of the strongest skills in the game. It's worded rather poorly, so let me try to explain. All damage below 10 damage will remain unaffected. If we go above 10 damage and below 20, it will be reduced to 10 damage. But if the damage goes above 20, for example 50 damage, the damage is halved, so it will be reduced to 25. This basically means we have the 50% passive damage protection. Stunty Survivor. I honestly don't even know why this is still in the game. Not only does there need to be a situation where everyone on your team is dead, you also have to survive whatever killed your team in the first place. And all you get is 50% extra movement speed. More importantly, you will be giving up Oblivious to Pain, which drastically reduces your survivability. It would be better if you received this movement speed if you kill an elite. Don't you think? Crippling wounds fall into the same category. Not only does there need to be a situation when you crit your enemy will most likely die in a few hits anyway. And why does every skill need to be activated with a crit? How about we remove the need for a crit and add on a heavy attack, enemies will take 20% extra damage, and add a small cooldown to it. This would actually make me want to take it, right? What are your thoughts on this? For tier 3 we have Implacable, Moving Target and Adrenaline Surge. Implacable increases the Trophy Hunter buff from 2 seconds to 5 seconds. This is the skill we are ultimately going to take, as we want to have the 30% extra damage for as long as possible. This can ultimately make a difference between killing something in one hit or 2 hits. Moving Target increases your defense by 10% for every Trophy Hunter stack, but as we already have Oblivious to Pain, it won't be necessary. An Adrenaline Surge. For me it was a tough choice of choosing between this or Implacable, as Adrenaline Surge is useful in any situation, as it reduces your recharge time on max trophy stacks. This allows you to jump more, leading to you stunning more hordes or elites, and having 30% extra attack speed bonus. Feel free to switch out Implacable for Adrenaline Surge, if it suits your playstyle. For tier 4 we have Doomseeker, Slayer's Fury and Infectious Fortitude. We are going with Slayer's Fury as we will be hunting down elites, giving us all the 10th health in the world. For tier 5 we have Crunch, Unstoppable and No Escape. Crunch drastically increases the stagger your leap causes, but it actually doesn't affect it that much. And here's a little secret. The leap stagger is affected by power bonuses such as Power vs Chaos. But if you want to use Crunch, the only enemy that is directly affected is a Mauler. A leap with Crunch activated will only stun the Mauler lightly. But if you were to use 20% Chaos from either your equipped weapon or charm, you could heavily stun them. But to take Crunch for just a Mauler seems rather wasteful. Unstoppable is only useful when using a great axe or a two-handed hammer, as the heavy attack of these weapons can take a long time. When using the pickaxe you basically want to use it during hordes and elites, ignoring the massed group, so it will be unlikely you will get interrupted. And No Escape, which drastically increases your movement speed for a short duration by using the leap ability, allowing you to close the gap. Very useful. Yes. We will take no escape, as this syncs nicely with impeccable. For the amulet, we will take 20% extra health to boost our health up to 150, and 2 stamina for axe ammo. For the perk, Boon of Shealia, this is to increase our already ridiculous stamp health gain for melees. For the trinket, 32%, you know, and 5% crit. The perk is up to you. That's everything. Now, for the gameplay. I will be soloing one of the bosses, but I do not know which one. And every time I do not know what to choose, I turn to the wheel. The wheel is all-knowing and will answer any question you have. Its word is law. Now, let's spin the wheel of destiny.
My slaves, my spoils of war, Lord Gulmagak.
Nani? What the hell? What the fuck?
Bye, have a beautiful time.
It was at this moment he knew. He fucked up.
This is what God would use to shoot somebody. Oh no. Burn it all! That's the way! Here! Plague brewer!
Oh! Now you fucked up!
Oh no.
Fuck! 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 Fuck!